Welcome to Bob Cargill's Marketing Show, a ridiculously awesome podcast bursting with insightful commentaries and intriguing conversations on the topics and issues that are on the minds of marketers, advertisers, social media, and PR professionals today. Hey everybody, this is Bob Cargill from Bob Cargill's Marketing Show, and today I have a special episode. I'd like to say all my episodes are special, but this one's very special. How about that? This is very special because I am in the classroom here at Suffolk University, where I'm an adjunct professor, and one of my classes is Business Foundations. And Business Foundations is about 25 or so students, all first semester freshmen, and we learn everything from ethics to marketing to finance and accounting. We have many case studies that we study and do presentations on. And today we were just talking about current events, the business news that's in the news and on X specifically. So we were talking about everything from Mark Zuckerberg talking about, he just predicted today, and today is November 14th, and he says like around 2030 smart glasses could replace mobile phones, something to that effect. I'm speaking generally, and don't quote me as they say, but he is predicting that we will all be embracing and wearing smart glasses in the future, which I find very, very interesting, and I shared that news with my students. This is all from X just today that I was reading through, and what I'm going to do is talk to my students about social media in just a few minutes. So I wanted to lead with talking about what was in the news on X. Another big story was Nike trolling, if you will, Jaylen Brown from the Celtics with a childish tweet about Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks. Apparently the other day when they went to do handshakes at the end of the game or something, Giannis pulled his hand away, and I guess Jaylen Brown said that was childish, and so now Nike newsjacked, and I explained what newsjacking means to my students, and that's when a brand or a business injects themselves into the news. So it's like newsjacking. They see some popular story that they think they can say something witty or funny or insightful or interesting about, and hoping to become part of the story. And they did, in fact, by when Giannis the other day got, I guess, like 56 points in a game, they said, hey, now that's childish. So we found that funny, and I thought it was a great example of newsjacking. And I was also talking to my students because, again, this is a business class. We look at what is happening with regard to big and small businesses out there, and we noticed out there in the world, if you will, and we noticed that Advance Auto Parts is shutting down 500 stores, cutting jobs, and the reason is, and I did not know this till reading this article and sharing it with my students, that people aren't getting their cars fixed as much anymore, and I assume that's because they're just trading them in earlier, and it's too costly to repair cars and too complicated. So we talk about the trends in business in this class, why it's important to be informed, and I say to students, I say to anyone in their professional lives, it's so important to know what's going on in the world, to keep on top of the news. The final story I noticed on X today, we talked about Lindt chocolate, and apparently there's a lawsuit against them for being miswording or something about how they worded the marketing copy on one of their products, their chocolate bars, how they word the copy, and that it was misleading or untrue. And again, don't quote me on all this. I'm paraphrasing, I'm generalizing, but Lindt, it looks like, is in a little bit of trouble because they did not word the marketing copy exactly true, if you will, exactly correctly. And we talk about ethics in this class. Yes, a business's primary reason for being in business is to please all its stakeholders, to make money, but not at the expense of forgetting about ethics and certainly obeying the law. Ethics are so important. Legalities are so important. And we teach that in this class as well. We teach AI. We learn about social media, marketing, finance, and accounting, you name it. I'm going to talk to now, finally, yes, Bob is going to be quiet and the students might speak up a little bit, and that's what you've been waiting for, I hope, because this is that, like I say, extra special episode where the students chime in and Bob doesn't do all the talking. So I'm going to talk to Tommy and Evan, and we are going to talk about social media because I was talking about X, and we mentioned Mark Zuckerberg, who, when he was a college student, guys, and these are all first semester freshmen, they could be the next Mark Zuckerberg. When Mark Zuckerberg was in college, he founded Facebook in 2004. Imagine that, over across the Charles River in Harvard, and we're here now in downtown Boston, 73 Tremont. No, what's the address here? I forget. Samia is our building. I forget the exact street address. But hey, I digress. Let me talk to Tommy and Evan and ask them about social media, guys. What do you think is so important about social media? How can it be used in business to help a company market its products and services? I'm going to hand the mic over to you guys. Thank you. Tommy.
So social media can be a powerful tool for businesses to connect with their target audiences, build brand awareness, and drive sales. So social media can be used in many ways for marketing, such as it can build brand awareness, it can engage with customers, drive website traffic, and it can also, you can run it to targeted advertising campaigns, and it can leverage user-generated content. And you can also use it to launch new products and services so your customers can see what's going on with your company.
Tommy, that was awesome. I really appreciate it. Very good knowledge you just dropped on our audience. And we'll hand the mic to your classmate, Evan, who's going to add a little bit to what you said. Evan, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Here's an example of a marketing campaign that went pretty well. It's the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what it is. It's the act of pouring a bucket of ice water over your head, and you post it on social media, challenge a few friends to do it in the next 24 hours. I think it's one of the largest campaigns and most successful. It was started by Pete Frates and Pat Quinn, and they raised about $115 million for ALS research, and it kind of got people to look into finding out what ALS was. And it was a pretty easy thing to jump onto because it was user-generated content, and you could kind of just video on your phone, and it became very big and popular. But that's just one example, and I know there's many more.
Evan, that's a great example, and your professor, yours truly, I participated in that. I don't know if you did. You probably were quite young when you did do it. Yeah. See, it went viral. It was a great trend for a great cause, a very important cause, curing ALS, and it's the Ice Bucket Challenge, and I think it is still done once a year. People poured ice water on their head, having fun, a bucket of ice water, having fun, but knowing as they do it the seriousness and importance of investing funds into curing ALS. So it was a fundraising campaign that went viral, and you couldn't do that without social media and user-generated content. Did Evan mention that's UGC? Any brand or business organization wants its customers, its constituents, its audience, prospective customers, et cetera, to create content that is relevant to that product or service and share it on their own social media networks, because that exponentially increases the reach of advertising, if you will, free advertising, not paid advertising. So I use the word advertising loosely. It exponentially increases the reach of content getting out there to a broader audience that's going to help support your business brand, and in this case, a nonprofit organization. Finally, we've talked a lot about AI in this class. We've used Google Gemini, we've used Chat GPT, and I know there are many other Claude and many other AI tools out there, technologies. Those are the ones we focused on for the most part, Google Gemini especially. And we've learned prompts and how important it is to be a prompt engineer, and that is knowing what information to put into the AI so that you get out of it the best possible answers and information. And Mona is one of my students, and Tommy, Evan, and there's many others in the classroom watching and listening to us as we record this. But Mona, I wanted to ask you about AI, maybe what you've learned about artificial intelligence in this class, and anything you want to say to our audience.
Thank you, Professor. One of the most important things I've taken away from this class is the usage of AI. Coming right out of high school, now being a first semester freshman, I've been introduced to AI and being taught that it's actually a good tool and it's something that's ethical and not just a form of cheating. How we've been conditioned in high school to believe that we can't use AI. AI is only used for writing our essays or anything like that. But during this class, we've learned how to prompt certain topics to help us with case studies. But I've now realized how I can use that in other different types of departments of like other educational like things like in my other classes. That's not used as cheating, but used as something that could help me and like a tool to guide me to learn about different perspectives in my education. So I think this topic of AI being something that's evil or something that kind of diminishes critical thinking is kind of false. And I've learned that through the Sawyer Business School here at Suffolk, how they kind of show us how AI can be something that's good. So we've used different AI tools like Claude, Google Studio AI, and I guess ChatGPT too, to kind of utilize it as like a prompter and guide us in kind of meaningful conversations that help us with the assignment we're doing, such as the Lego Discovery case study we're going to do as a competition. My team has utilized AI to make a presentation talking about a case study that could help to explain like how a business could improve its strategies, and my team has utilized AI pretty efficiently, not only in kind of helping us write what we're going to present, but also like different characteristics, which I guess I can't really get into because my classmates are right in front of me. But I think AI will be like a really good tool in the future, not only in the classroom, but just in all aspects of life.
Mona, amazing, as I knew you would be. Speaking about AI, and Tommy and Evan, thank you for speaking about social media. And everyone who's listening, see how wicked smart, ridiculously awesome my students are here in Business Foundations at Suffolk University. And these are first semester freshmen. So yes, last spring, earlier this year, they were in high school. And look at what they're learning. And these are future rock stars in the professional world, and they are current rock stars in the educational world and as human beings, and I'm so proud of them. And this is what today's episode is all about. I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes and mainly have my students talk to you about AI, social media, business, current events. The important, I tell students and anyone within earshot, it's so important to watch what's going on in the world and be up to date on the trends. It will help you in the job world. It will help you in your personal life as much as in your professional life. So that's all I got for you today. This has been Bob Cargill from Bob Cargill's Marketing Roadshow. I'm creeping up on almost episode 200 and well beyond 5 years having recorded this podcast, and I try to mix it up, and today we really did mix it up with an extra special show from Sawyer Business School, Suffolk University, Boston. I forget the street address. Samia building, though, right, students? And yeah, and these are my ridiculously awesome students, about 25 or so of them in front of me, listening, watching, and you heard from 3 of them. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you again on Bob Cargill's Marketing Show.